All right, well, it is June 27th, Saturday afternoon, about 4:30, and last weekend I was in the Canadian river bottoms of southeast Oklahoma in Hughes County. This week I'm still in Southern Hughes County, but I'm a little further south, and I'm pretty close to the Cole County border. I don't know exactly how far I am, but not far. I'm pretty close to Muddy Boggy Creek, which runs through that area, and I'm in some bottomland right here. I mean, I walked into this to get where I'm standing right now, and I was thinking, welcome to the jungle, because this is a jungle. I've waded through some briars and all that to get here. So you know, like I talked about before, you know, a lot of people, they associate Bigfoot sightings in Oklahoma to being mainly in the Ouachita National Forest, down in Comiskey Mountains and such as that. And there are a lot down there, probably the biggest part. But there's also several sightings in this area, which is why I decided to devote a few videos to this area as well. And I'm going to take y'all on a walk and let y'all see these river bottoms, or creek bottoms actually, and see what we run into, see what we find. And if nothing else, you'll get if you're from out of state and not familiar with this part of the state, you'll get a good look at the lay of the land in these really thick creek bottoms that we've got down here in Southern Hughes County. So with that being said, I'm going to shut that off, and we're going to go for a walk and see what we can find. Right here, I'm going to take a moment and do a slow panorama view of where I'm at. I had a request on a comment on a previous video to slow down on the panorama. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut up a little bit and let y'all hear the noise of the woods. Always, anyone sees anything while I'm doing this, just let me know in the comments. All right, well, I'm going to go for a walk now, maybe talk a little while I'm walking, but mostly just going to be letting you guys see these woods, and there's a hill here, and I'm going to start hiking out of these bottoms and see what we see and listen to what we hear. Yeah, it's been a very long time before anybody cut trees out here, if ever. It's about as natural as you find places. Got the cicadas calling. It's about 93 degrees plus murderous humidity. There's a game trail through here. Looks like it might be a scrape. Yeah, it'd be easy to stay inside in the air conditioning, but can't stand that. I like to get out in the woods. Go over here so they anyway, not far. Let's see. These days, there's a very real possibility of running into a bear out here. They're getting a lot more common further west here. I've seen them down in the Comiskey Mountains. I've never seen them this far. So there's a pretty well-defined game trail going right through the woods there. I'm going to find a place to make my camera stationary and share a story with you here. Not a story, I mean an actual event from my childhood. Some kids come to school talking about when I was in like the 7th grade. And I just kind of blew it off at that time because I remembered it forever. But then when we were doing Bigfootville and trying to get some people together that would want to be on it, I called these folks up and said, "Hey, that story you told when we were in like the 7th grade, was that real?" And they said it absolutely was real. So we got them together, and their story still lined up just like it was way back then. I think it's a good little spot here. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to share an account that came to my attention when I was in the 7th grade. And I'm not going to that was a long time ago. I'm 53 now. And I remember when I was a kid, these kids that lived over towards the Cole County line, they come to school and they were real excited. You know, y'all that grow up out in the country, you know what I'm talking about. Kids, we didn't have a lot to do at night, and back then there wasn't video games and all that stuff to do. So we would go out in the woods and do stuff. And what these kids had done, they had, there was a dead animal. I think it was a cow, and they wanted to go out into that pasture at night and sit at the side of the edge of the woods and see what come out. And what they did, they went out there and they sat there, and they said it was a bright moonlit night, and from across it, whatever this was, it did not approach the dead cow. It just happened to be there, and they were thinking the coyotes or something like that would come out for it. But this big dark figure come walking across the field in front of them, and when it got closer they realized it was not a person. It was way too big, and they couldn't make out the features. It looked black to them, and they said it was hairy. And when it got to the barbed wire fence, it didn't go through it or whatever, it just stepped over it and kept going. So that gave them the impression of how big the thing really was. And anyway, when they come to school, they were totally excited about it. I don't think anybody believed them. You know, in 7th grade, I was already a long time interested in the subject of Bigfoot, so I remembered it. And then fast forward in 2002, I believe, late 2002, when I was approached by the film crew, the producer from England, about helping to put the documentary Bigfootville together. I started getting hold of people that I knew that had reported sightings to me, and I remembered these, they were, you know, obviously grown up now, but kids at the time that said that, so I got a hold of them, still knew how to, and they said, yeah, that was not just a story, that really did happen. So I got them together, and they were featured on the film, the documentary Bigfootville, and they're the ones, it's all shot in night vision, and we actually went on location, and these two brothers, Clint and Gary is their names. One of them, Gary's a little older than me, Clint's a little younger, excuse me, and they actually go up to the fence where the thing stepped over and tell the story in Bigfootville. If y'all go back to watch that, you'll know what they were recounting. I tell you what, it is very humid out here. Whew. So anyway, that is that. So I'm going to leave that for now and start walking through these woods some more and see if we come up on anything. And you know, the birds, cicadas, everything's calling out. It's a nice day other than the humidity. And this is I've been coughing today because, my goodness, there's so much dust in the air. I've been hearing them talking about this Sahara haze that was gonna blow in and be here by Saturday, and I guess we have Africa on Oklahoma soil right now, because from what I understand, that haze and all that dust in the air actually blew over here from the Sahara. So, and it's sure got my allergies acting up, I tell you. So it looks like it's real cloudy, and it's really not. It's that haze. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm gonna go walk and hike a little more and see if we find anything interesting. All right, before I take off walking though, I just want to point something out here. I've been kind of critical of what people call tree formations and stuff like that. Not saying it don't happen, I believe it does. But I want to point something out that a lot of people that's not familiar with being in the woods may mistake for a marker, and this is this X right behind me. And that's not what that is. That's natural. That is simply a tree has fallen on a dead tree's fallen on a green tree, and as times went by, it slowly bent that cedar over, and that cedar is now almost dead. But that is not a Bigfoot marker, but some people would maybe mistake that as such. That's a natural occurrence. There's another X down there. I always say I want to see all the evidence that's there, but I don't want to make myself imagine evidence where there is none. This is a natural occurrence. We'll leave that at that. Now, well, like I said, we're going to see what else we can find.